flying moon buggy.
Where are the tracks of the tires of the lunar rover? This is a footstep. This is a footprint. These are all footsteps. But there are no tracks of the tires. As you can see clearly here, no tracks of the tires. But there is a footprint. And there too. While here at the back there are no tracks of the tires. Right. Here again, no tracks of the tires. Or here, the astronaut is sitting on the lunar rover. But how comes the lunar rover to its place? Well, here is no track visible, but footsteps are all over this place. So it seems, is it flying over? This is a flying moon buggy. Here a really good close-up. No tracks of the tires.
So a lot of people are having trouble with the moon and understanding that it is its own light source. It does not reflect sunlight. That's the moon. If the moon was reflecting sunlight, right, I'm here, the moon's in front of me, obviously as the photo was taken, meaning the sun has to be behind this person. Where's the light in the sky, far above, around, and below the moon? Where is the light that's hitting this sun? Do you think somehow the sun, during the day, just lights up the entire sky, but then at night, the light is funneled into an X-ray vision laser tunnel, and it hits the moon? It doesn't make any sense. Look around. This is clearly not reflecting sunlight, or the sunlight that reaches 93 million miles away. It would be everywhere. It would not just be localized. Not to mention through actual scientific method experiments and demonstratable, repeatable, observable science, we can prove that the moon produces moonlight that is colder than moon shade, meaning that the light source could not be something warmer than the light source, meaning it's not the sun. The moon emits its own light. I don't understand, not to mention the inverse square law of light, just proving that there's no way that this light would be hitting there, refracting, coming. There's a lot of different ways to scientifically prove, or we could just look at this photo and understand that, there's no sunlight, or it would be daytime. If there was sunlight, it would be suntime, meaning it would be daytime. Or the moon just emits its own light, a lesser light, to rule the night. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Sometimes I wonder, as a conspiracy theorist, TikTok, it's for entertainment purposes only. I wonder, I'm like, if I know that we didn't go to the moon, if I know that there is a firmament that is above us, if I know that these things are true, and Elon is still saying that he can go to Mars, and these elites are supporting him like, oh yeah, Elon and your rockets. Really? And then I came to, I guess a light bulb went off. Me, myself, some of the things that I realize, and I try, listen, I try to tell other people what I'm thinking, what is going on, what the truth is. And some of these people, they can't receive it. They absolutely cannot receive it. So, these elites, these government officials, these really high ups in the world, yes, they absolutely are hiding a lot of things from us. However, they're also not telling us because the majority of people would not be able to receive it. You guys, if they came out and started saying these things, humanity, the majority of humanity would not be able to understand or receive it. And I hope that makes sense. But they know. Oh, trust me, they know. They know so much more than we know. And as in the days of Noah, it will be like in the days of Noah. And there were giants in those days. And then there's Rh-negative blood type in these days.
Airplanes debunk the globe. Airplanes maintain rigidity in space using something called a 3-axis gimbaled gyroscope. Now remember, the gyroscope maintains inertia not dependent on the Earth's orientation, but its own position in space. So as the rotor in the center spins, it maintains its own inertial reference frame. Notice, before the rotor is spinning, you're spinning around and it's spinning with you. But as soon as you gear this up and get it working in its inertial reference frame, all of a sudden now you are spinning around it. On this 3-axis gimbal, it allows that to maintain rigidity in space, staying exactly where it was when it began spinning. The only way that it can move is when a force acts upon it. Now, in this 3-point gimbal, it's going to maintain that exact location, that exact inertial reference frame. As he's driving the car, you see how he's driving around it. It's going to stay in that same rigidity in space. Now, for those of you who believe he's really in space, they actually got the physics right here. See how it's just flipping all around the gyroscope, but as soon as he gears it up and gets that rotor moving, now it's maintaining its rigidity in space as he moves it around. Now, I believe it's augmented reality because they say this is how they keep the ISS in orientation. But when you watch time-lapse ISS footage, if that were the case, then it would look nothing like this. The Earth would be behind you, then in front of you. Remember, pilots use this technology and don't have to account for curvature. They always maintain rigidity in space, showing that artificial horizon staying the same, using that same gimbal. Now look at this. Look at the orientation when you switch your reference frame. That plane is nose directly up into space. To really drive home this rigidity in space thing, if the Earth were a ball that was spinning daily, then you could get this thing going mechanically. And as long as it was still going, in 24 hours, this would do a 360-degree rotation. Does that happen? No.
Okay, you guys remember how I showed you the maps that were here on Earth before 1958, before the governments took them out? And I'm going to show you the Encyclopedia Britannicas in the public libraries before 1958. Here's volume 2 out of the alphabet A. And we're going to flip to the Antarctica, and this is from 1958, as you can see. Now, we're going to flip to the Antarctica and see what the Encyclopedia Britannica from 1958, before the Antarctic Treaty, says is there. Now, you won't find this in the new encyclopedias because the government's banned them. But what I want you to notice right here is, notice how it says the flights proved inland areas to be featureless in character, with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude. Close look at that. Now I'm going to zoom it in for you. When they returned to New Zealand, these flights proved the inland areas to be featureless in character, with a dome 13,000 feet high. Earth map would look like. Now, this is what latitude 80 degrees south would look like on a flat Earth map. As you can see, the dome comes down closer to you over the wall, which will be about 13,000 feet. Now, if you go back out into this at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. Now, if this doesn't make sense to you, let me show you with an image of what a flat center of the Earth, or up the North Pole, and try to go up to the firmament with a little bit of calculation. That's going to show that it's about 385,500 feet away. It's really, really simple, folks. Now, if you're not with the ice wall around it and a firmament, a dome, and why does the encyclopedia tell you that there's a dome there and it gives you the exact height at a certain latitude and longitude? Well, the reason is because in 1958, that's when, with any of this at all, and you're just now new to all this, you can say, well, this guy's crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But what you got to ask yourself is, why do all the maps before 1958 show a flat Earth? All governments and all nations of the world signed the UN treaty to ban all civilians from going to the Antarctica. And NASA came in and erased everything, just like they're erasing everything today. So again, ask yourself, if all this existed before 1958, why doesn't it exist now? How come it all of a sudden was erased and just disappeared out of your history books, out of your encyclopedia?